I wasn't supposed to hear my name. I froze outside the conference room door, my hand still holding the cleaning cart. Use her, a voice said from inside. She's perfect for the test. My chest tightened. Then I heard his voice. Come. Controlled. Familiar. If she reacts, we'll know who's leaking information. My breath stopped. I wasn't supposed to hear that. I wasn't supposed to know that the man who held my hand in the storage room last week was planning something with my name in it. I leaned closer to the door. I don't want mistakes, he said. We need to see who panics. Are you sure about the maid? Another voice asked. Silence. Then him. She trusts me. My knees almost
You
gave out.
betrayed me.
Trust me.
I saw it in your eyes.
My heart pounding
No,
so
you're
loud I was sure they
wrong.
would hear
I
it.
would
I
never
told
do
myself I
that.
misunderstood. I
Please.
told myself there had to be another explanation. I pushed the cart away before anyone could open the door and see me standing there like a spy. My hands shook as I walked down the hallway. Use her. Perfect for the test. She trusts me. The words followed me like shadows. I kept cleaning rooms like nothing happened. I kept smiling at guests, but something inside me had cracked. I thought about the way he
You
used to look
can't
at me.
avoid
Soft,
accountability
interested,
forever.
different from everyone else.
That's not
he said he
fair.
admired how
You
hard I
have no
worked.
proof.
He said I deserved more than
Karma
this job.
has a
He
long
said I was
memory.
special. Now I wondered if every word was part of an experiment. Later that night, I saw him near the elevators. He smiled the same way. Long shift, he asked. My throat felt tight. Always. He stepped closer. You look tired. I'm fine. I studied his face. Did he look guilty? Did he look cruel? No, he looked normal. That scared me more. Are you okay? He asked softly. I almost laughed. Was I okay? Why wouldn't I be? I asked. He paused. Just for a second.
You
I
must
don't know,
understand
he said.
the gravity
You just seem
of this
distant.
decision.
Distant. Because I
There's
heard you.
no room
Because
for
I know I'm part of
hesitation
something.
or doubt.
But I couldn't say that. I have work, I said
You must
quietly. He
understand
touched
the
my wrist before I
gravity
could
of
move.
this decision.
Hey, he whispered.
There
You
is
trust
no
me,
room
right?
for
The question felt like a
hesitation or
knife.
doubt.
I searched his eyes. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to forget what I heard. I did, I said before I could stop myself. His fingers loosened. What does that mean? He asked. Nothing. I pulled my hand away and walked off. I felt his eyes on my back. For the first time, it didn't feel warm. It felt calculated. An hour later, everything exploded. I was cleaning
You
a
think
suite on the
you've
third
escaped
floor when
the
security walked in.
consequences?
Two men. Serious
What are you
faces.
implying?
Come with us, one of them
Karma
said.
is patient.
For what?
It
Just come.
always comes.
My stomach dropped. I followed them down to the staff hallway. Managers were waiting, including him. I felt exposed under the bright lights. What's going on? I asked. One manager held up a velvet jewelry box. This was reported missing from room 317. I stared at it. And? I asked. It was found in your locker. The world tilted. That's not possible, I said. Security looked at me like they already decided. We searched every locker, one said. It was in yours. I looked at him. He avoided my eyes. You don't believe this, I said. He looked at me then. And for the first time, I saw something dangerous. Doubt. We're still investigating, he said carefully. Still investigating. Like I was a suspect. I didn't take anything, I said, my voice shaking. You know me. Silence.
You
That
thought
silence
I
was
wouldn't
louder than a
find
scream.
out?
You said you trusted me,
I don't know
I
what
whispered.
you mean.
His jaw tightened.
Your
This is bigger than
actions
trust.
have consequences.
Bigger than trust. So I was right. This was part of it. Part of the test. Am I the test? I asked quietly. The room went still. One manager frowned. What are you talking about? I looked only at him. Am I bait? I asked. His eyes flickered. That was my answer. Security stepped closer. We have to suspend you until this is resolved.
The evidence
Suspend.
is clear.
The word
you
felt gentle.
betrayed us
It wasn't.
all.
It
No,
was humiliation.
that's not what
I didn't
happened.
steal
You're
anything,
twisting the
I said
facts.
again,
The
but my voice
documents
sounded
prove
smaller
it.
now.
Lie!
Guests were watching from the
You
lobby.
thought you could
Whispers
get
filled
away
the air.
with this?
I saw phones lifting.
It's over.
Recording. He stepped toward me slightly.
Your silence
I'll look
won't
into this
save
personally,
you.
he said. Personally. Like that was supposed to comfort me. You already looked into me, I said. His face paled. Lower your voice, a manager warned. No, I said. For once I
I
refused
know
to
I
shrink.
hurt you.
You used me,
I'm so
I said, staring
sorry.
at him. You needed someone
Please,
who trusted you.
I need
That's
you
not.
to forgive me.
It is. My chest hurt, but I kept speaking.
This is
I
a
heard you,
permanent
I said.
offer.
His breath stopped.
Lead us.
I saw it. Panic.
I
What did you
accept.
hear? He asked quietly. Enough. Silence wrapped around us.
The
Security
new
reached for my arm.
policy is
Let's go.
effective
I pulled away.
immediately.
Don't touch me.
I
I
understand
looked at him
your
one last time.
concerns,
Did you
but
ever
this
care?
is the
I asked.
direction.
His lips parted.
Team, today
No
we
words came out.
rise
That was
stronger.
the answer.
Our
They
vision is
walked me through the lobby
reborn.
like a criminal.
Your
I felt every stare,
respect fuels our
every whisper.
success. Let's
I felt
embrace
small,
this.
disposable, used. At the doors, I turned
I've
back.
held my
He was still
tongue
standing
long
there,
enough.
frozen, watching me
This
leave.
ends
For a second, I
now.
saw regret in his eyes. But regret doesn't undo
I
damage.
never meant
The
to
doors
hurt
opened.
you. I'm
Cold air
so
hit my
sorry.
face. I stepped outside with nothing but my purse and my pride in pieces. I wasn't
Please
special.
forgive
I wasn't
me.
loved. I was part of a plan.
stand at a
And as I stood there
crossroads.
alone
The
under the
path
bright city
forward
lights,
demands
I made one
truth,
silent
not
decision.
excuses.
I would
Let
never be
this
someone's
moment
test again.
define our
They found it in my
integrity.
bag. The words echoed in my head before anyone even showed it to me. I didn't put anything there, I said, but my voice sounded distant, like it belonged to someone else. Open it, security said. I stood in
never
the center
meant
of the
for
lobby
it to
while my
end
locker
like
contents
this.
were dumped onto a metal table dragged out from the staff
And yet,
hallway. My
here
uniform,
we are.
my spare shoes, my lunch container, and my purse. Guests slowed down as they passed. Some stopped completely. Phones lifted. Please, I said quietly, can we not do this here? This is procedure, a manager replied. Procedure. Humiliation disguised as policy. He stood a few feet away, silent, watching. I kept waiting for him to step forward. To say, stop. To say, this isn't necessary. To say, I trust her. He said nothing. Security unzipped my purse. My heart pounded so hard I thought I would collapse. I didn't steal anything, I repeated. A hand reached inside. And then, a velvet box appeared. The same one. The jewelry from room 317. Gasps spread through the lobby. No, I whispered. My knees felt weak. That wasn't there, I said. It wasn't. Security opened the box. Diamonds flashed under the lights. Evidence. Clean. Perfect. Destroying. I looked at him. This was the moment. This was where he would fix it. Instead, I saw it. Hesitation. Doubt. That hurt more than the box in my bag. You think I did this, I said to him. I don't know what to think, he answered. Not loud. Not cruel. Just honest. And that honesty cut deeper than an accusation. I would never, I said. You know who I am. I thought I did, he replied. The space between us felt endless. A manager stepped forward. We have no choice. You're suspended immediately pending investigation. Suspended? I asked. For theft, the manager said. The word echoed. The guests whispered louder now. She looked sweet. You never know. Poor owner. Poor owner. Not poor maid. I felt heat rush to my face. Check the cameras, I said. Check everything. We will, security answered. But until then? I asked. Turn in your access card. My hands shook as I reached into my pocket. The small plastic card suddenly felt heavier than anything I had ever held. I looked at him again. Say something, I whispered. He stepped closer, lowering his voice. If you didn't do this, the truth will come out. That word broke something inside me. If. I need facts, he said. You needed trust, I shot back. Silence. Thick. Heavy. Painful. I trusted you, I said. That was my mistake. His jaw tightened. Don't twist this. Twist. I almost laughed. My life is twisting in front of everyone. Security touched my arm again. Please cooperate. Don't touch me, I said firmly. My voice didn't shake this time. A small shift. Something inside me started turning cold. You can't prove I stole it, I said. The item was in your possession, the manager replied. Planted, I said. Do you have proof? He asked. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. Because I didn't. And that was the trap. I looked back at him. You set this up, I said quietly. His eyes widened. That's not fair. Isn't it? I asked. This is an investigation into internal leaks, he said carefully. Not you. Then why am I standing here like a criminal? I demanded. He didn't answer. That was answer enough. Guests kept staring. I saw pity. I saw judgment. I saw satisfaction. One woman shook her head at me like I disappointed her personally. I felt smaller with every second. Say you believe me, I said. I hated how soft my voice sounded. He hesitated. Just for a second. But that second destroyed me. I want to, he said. What? Not do. Not believe. What? I swallowed the lump in my throat. You don't trust me, I said. It's not about trust, he insisted. It's exactly about trust. The manager cleared his throat. This discussion is over. My access card was taken from my hand. My name badge followed. The simple tag with my name suddenly felt like proof that I never belonged here. Collect your final paycheck from HR tomorrow, the manager said. Tomorrow. As if I would ever walk back in here again. Security gestured toward the exit. The lobby doors felt miles away. Every step echoed. I heard someone whisper, shame, shame. That word wrapped around my chest like chains. Halfway to the door I stopped. I turned around slowly. He was still standing there. Still silent. Still torn. Look at me, I said. He did. I didn't steal that, I said clearly. I know you think you didn't, he replied. Think. There it was again. A wall. Between us. Built from doubt. I loved you, I said before I could stop myself. The words hung in the air. Raw. Unprotected. His face changed. Regret. Something else. He started. I raised my hand. Don't, I said. Because whatever came next would either beg or defend. And I didn't want either. I was never part of your world, I said quietly. I was just useful. That's not true, he said. Then why didn't you stop this? I asked. He had no answer. The silence roared louder than the whispers. That was when I understood. He didn't frame me. But he allowed it. He chose suspicion over me. And that choice ended everything. I walked to the doors. This time I didn't look back. The glass reflected my face. Red eyes. Tight jaw. A girl who walked in every day believing loyalty would protect her. That girl was gone. Outside I stood still for a moment. Cars passed. People moved. Life continued like nothing happened. Inside the hotel, my name was probably already erased from schedules. I lost my job. I lost my dignity. But what hurt most wasn't the diamonds in my bag. It was the doubt in his eyes. Because it meant one simple truth. He never truly trusted me. And that was the real theft. I stepped away from the entrance, breathing slowly. Shame burned. But under it, something stronger started rising. Anger. Cold. Steady. I pulled out my phone. My fingers hovered over his name. One last message. 3 words. You chose wrong. I hit send. And I didn't wait for the reply. He isn't an employee. I stared at the message on my phone until the letters blurred. He owns the hotel. My fingers went cold. What? I typed back. My former coworker sent a link. A business article. A photo. Him. In a suit I had never seen before. Standing in front of the hotel logo. The headline called him the youngest millionaire hotel owner in the city. I couldn't breathe. All this time, he wasn't just walking the halls to learn operations. He wasn't shadowing staff to understand the business. He was the business. My hands started shaking. He was undercover. The next message came. Investigating internal corruption. Undercover. Investigating. Using me. I dropped my phone onto my bed. My tiny apartment suddenly felt even smaller. I replayed every conversation in my head. Every smile. Every late-night talk in the laundry room. Every soft, I see you. I felt sick. I picked up my phone again and dialed his number before I could stop myself. It rang once. Twice. He answered. I was going to call you, he said quietly. Are you the owner? I asked. Silence. Then, yes. Just like that. No explanation. No apology yet. Yes. That's it. I snapped. Yes. I wanted to tell you, he said. When? I demanded. After I went to jail? That's not fair, he replied. Fair? I laughed bitterly. You pretended to be one of us. I needed to see things from inside, he said. There's been theft for months. So you decided to test people? I shot back. I didn't plan for you to get hurt. But I did. Silence again. Thick. Heavy. You suspected me, I said. You were close to internal areas, he answered carefully. You cleaned executive floors. You overheard meetings. So that made me guilty? I asked. It made you possible, he admitted. Possible. The word echoed louder than theft. I trusted you, I whispered. I know. No, you don't, I said. If you knew, you wouldn't have doubted me. He exhaled slowly. I doubted everyone. But you used me, I said. You said I was special. You are, he insisted. Was that part of the investigation too? I asked. His voice softened. No. I wanted to believe that. I hated that I still wanted to believe that. Then why didn't you stop them? I asked. Why did you let them search my bag in front of everyone? I needed to see reactions, he said. I needed to see who panicked. And what did you see? I demanded. I saw you hurt, he replied quietly. That wasn't the question. Another pause. I saw management watching too closely, he admitted. I saw someone too calm. My heart skipped. So you think someone framed me? I asked. Yes. Who? I demanded. I don't know yet. That's convenient, I said. I'm still investigating, he replied. You investigated me enough, I shot back. I could feel my chest tightening. Why didn't you tell me the truth about who you are? I asked. Because if you knew, you might act differently, he said. So you needed me natural, I said slowly. Yes. I felt something inside me collapse. You didn't fall for me, I said. I was never weak. I said it out loud the morning I stopped crying. I was just easy to underestimate. My voice didn't shake this time. My phone buzzed again on the table. His name. I turned it face down. Silence is power. I chose silence. 3 days without answering him. 3 days without stepping outside except for groceries. 3 days replaying the lobby in my head until the humiliation turned into something sharper. Clarity. I opened my laptop. I searched one thing. Hotel management certification. If I was going to survive this, I needed more than anger. I needed knowledge. My cousin answered on the second ring. I need a loan, I said. For what? My cousin asked. For school. Pause. I thought you lost your job. I did. Then why school now? Because I won't stay fired, I replied. Another pause. Longer this time. How much? My cousin asked quietly. I told my cousin the number. Silence again. That's not small. I know. What if it doesn't work? My cousin asked. It will. You sound different. I am. A slow exhale on the other side. I'll transfer it, my cousin said. I closed my eyes. Thank you. Just promise me something, my cousin added. What? Don't do this for revenge. I hesitated. Was I? No, I said slowly. I'm doing this for me. That was the first honest thing I said in days. The money arrived that night. I enrolled in night classes before I could doubt myself. When the confirmation email came, I stared at it like it was a contract with a new version of me. I didn't tell anyone else. Not former coworkers. Not neighbors. Not him. Especially not him. My phone buzzed again. A message. I cleared your name internally. It wasn't you. I read it twice. No apology. Just information. I typed back one sentence. I already knew. I didn't wait for his response. Classes started the following week. The classroom smelled like old books and coffee. I sat in the front. Not because I was eager. Because I refused to hide. Why hotel management? The instructor asked during introductions. When my turn came, I felt every pair of eyes on me. I want to understand power, I said. The room went quiet. The instructor raised an eyebrow. Power? Yes. A small smile. Good answer. The first lecture was about operations, supply chains, vendor contracts, internal audits. Every word felt like a weapon I didn't know I needed. I wrote everything down. Every structure. Every policy. Every loophole. If someone framed me, it meant systems allowed it. I wanted to understand those systems. I started working mornings at a small cafe to pay rent. Nights in class. Midnight studying. Sleep became optional. Pain became fuel. One night after class, my phone rang again. I stepped outside before answering. What? I said. I want to meet, he replied. For what? To explain. You already did. No, he said. Not fully. I leaned against the wall. Explain this, I said. When they found the jewelry, did you believe I could steal it? Pause. I believed you might be involved somehow, he admitted. Honesty again. Too late. That's enough, I said. I was wrong, he said quietly. I know. I'm trying to fix it. You can't fix what you allowed. Silence. I miss talking to you, he said. The old me would have softened. The new me didn't. I miss being respected, I replied. And I hung up. That night something shifted. I realized I didn't need him to clear my name. I needed to clear my own limits. Weeks passed. Grades came back. Top of the class. The instructor called me aside. You have leadership instincts, the instructor said. I almost laughed. Leadership. From maid to leader. I just pay attention, I replied. That's rare, the instructor said. I walked home that night with something I hadn't felt in months. Control. Not over him. Over myself. My phone buzzed again when I reached my apartment. A picture. Sent from an unknown number. The hotel lobby. A new maid standing near the desk. The caption read, "Life moves on." I stared at it. Threat? Reminder? Mockery? I typed one message back. So do I. No reply came. Good. I didn't need one. In class, we studied crisis management next. How do you respond to public scandal? The instructor asked. I raised my hand. You control the narrative, I said. And how? The instructor pressed. You acknowledge the damage, I replied. Then you show change. The instructor nodded. That's mature thinking. I thought about the lobby again. About cameras. About whispers. One day I wouldn't be the girl standing there powerless. One day I would be the one writing policy. Designing investigations. Protecting staff from being used as bait. That realization hit me hard. I didn't want revenge anymore. Revenge meant reacting. I wanted authority. Authority meant deciding. I stopped checking his messages after that. Unread. Unanswered. Silence became my shield. Every insult replayed in my head differently now. She's just a maid. She had access. She could have. Good. Let them think that. Let them underestimate me again. Because this time I was preparing. Midterms approached. I studied until my eyes burned. When results came, I scored highest again. The instructor pulled me aside. There's an internship opportunity at a mid-sized hotel, the instructor said. Competitive. I want it, I replied. Applications close tomorrow. I'll apply tonight. No hesitation. No doubt. That was new. I walked home with steady steps. For the first time since the lobby, I didn't feel small. I felt unfinished. And that excited me. My phone buzzed once more before I slept. One final message from him. I never saw you as weak. I stared at it in the dark. Maybe that was true. But he saw me as possible. Possible thief. Possible liability. Possible sacrifice. I placed the phone face down. I don't need you to see me, I whispered to the ceiling. I will make you. Not with tears. Not with arguments. With power. I closed my eyes. And for the first time since everything broke, I wasn't thinking about what I lost. I was thinking about what I would take back. They're still losing money. I heard it in a whisper behind me at the cafe counter. The thief's still inside. I didn't turn around. But my heart did. So karma wasn't finished. Good. I poured coffee like I didn't care. But inside something sharpened. If the real thief was still there, then my humiliation wasn't just damage. It was distraction. That realization changed everything. I stopped thinking like a victim. I started thinking like management. Class after class, I absorbed everything. Finance. Internal control systems. Audit structures. How does internal theft survive? The instructor asked one night. Because someone benefits, I answered. Or, the instructor pushed. Because leadership is blind, I replied. The instructor smiled slowly. Or distracted. Exactly. I wrote that down. Distracted leadership. I worked mornings at the cafe. Afternoons delivering packages. Nights in class. Sleep became a negotiation. One evening after class, an older woman stopped me near the exit. You answer like you've lived inside a scandal, she said. I looked at her carefully. Sharp eyes. Calm posture. And you observe like you've survived one, I replied. A slow smile. Walk with me, she said. I hesitated for a second. Then I did. I used to run a hotel chain, she said casually. I stopped walking. You're joking. I don't joke about business, she replied. I studied her face. No arrogance. Just certainty. Why are you here? I asked. Because I like watching people who are about to change their lives, she said. I swallowed. And you think that's me? I know it's you. The confidence in her voice unsettled me. Why? I asked. Because you don't study to pass, she said. You study to control. That word again. Control. She turned to me fully. What happened to you? She asked. I hesitated. Then I answered honestly. I was accused of theft in a hotel I worked at. And, she pressed. I was innocent. And? I was collateral damage in an investigation. Her eyes didn't soften. They sharpened. Did you crumble? She asked. I cried, I admitted. And now? I'm rebuilding. She nodded once. Good. We stood in silence for a moment. Then she said something that stayed with me. Strength without cruelty is power. Cruelty is insecurity. I felt that sentence settle deep. Do you want revenge? She asked. I thought about it. The lobby. The velvet box. The doubt. I want authority, I replied. Her lips curved slightly. Better. From that night on she became my mentor. We met once a week. No small talk. Only strategy. Show me a balance sheet, she said one evening. I placed it in front of her. Where's the weakness? She asked. I scanned it. Vendor payouts, I said. Irregular timing. Why does that matter? Because irregular timing hides irregular numbers. She leaned back. Good. Each session felt like sharpening a blade. But she also tested something else. Would you humiliate someone publicly if it protected your business? She asked suddenly. The question froze me. I remembered the lobby. No, I said slowly. Why? She asked. Because fear creates silence, I replied. And silence hides corruption. She watched me carefully. Don't become what broke you, she said quietly. That was my moral mirror. Meanwhile, rumors kept spreading. A former coworker texted me one night. More losses reported. Internal audit expanding. Management tense. I read each message calmly. I didn't rush to respond. This time, I wasn't on the outside emotionally. I was observing. My phone buzzed again. His name. I stared at it for a long moment. Then I answered. What? I asked. I know you're hearing rumors, he said. I hear many things. The investigation is ongoing. So is your doubt? I asked. Silence. No, he said firmly. I cleared you officially. But not privately, I replied. That's not fair. It doesn't have to be fair, I said calmly. It just has to be true. He exhaled slowly. I was wrong about you. About what part? I asked. About thinking you could be involved. There it was. Not emotional. Not dramatic. Just truth. And now? I asked. Now I know you weren't. I leaned against the wall. And what changed? I pressed. Patterns, he admitted. Someone else had access. I closed my eyes briefly. Good. So you sacrificed me for patterns? I said. I didn't mean to. You did, I cut in. Silence stretched. I regret how it happened, he said quietly. Regret. Finally. But regret is still late. I don't need regret, I replied. I need results. What does that mean? He asked. It means fix your system, I said. Or you'll lose more than money. I ended the call before he could answer. My mentor listened when I told her about it. Do you still care? She asked. Yes, I admitted. That's dangerous. I know. She leaned forward. Then build until caring becomes optional. Months passed like that. Work, study, mentor sessions, control growing quietly. Then one afternoon while checking emails before class, I saw something that made my pulse shift. Subject line. Hotel restructuring announcement. I opened it. New leadership policies. Internal audit reforms. And at the bottom. Management trainee program. Open applications. I stared at the screen. The same hotel. The same lobby. Now recruiting. My mentor looked over my shoulder. Apply, she said. They'll remember me. Good, she replied. What if they reject me? I asked. Then you'll know they fear you. Silence. Long. Heavy. This was the moment. Return as victim. Or return as contender. I opened the application form. Name. Email. Experience. I paused at one line. Reason for applying. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. Then I typed. I understand what your system failed to see. I didn't use initials. I didn't hide behind abbreviations. I typed my full name. Every letter steady. Every letter intentional. My mentor watched quietly. Ready? She asked. I took a slow breath. I remembered the lobby. The velvet box. The doubt. Then I remembered my grades. My training. My control. Yes, I said. And I hit submit. This time I wasn't walking in as bait. I was walking in as change. And I wasn't hiding anymore. I walked into the lobby and froze. He saw me. Not as a passing glance, not as a casual recognition. His eyes widened. Regret. Both. I straightened my blazer. Black, sharp, impossible to ignore. Not the uniform that once made me invisible. Not the apron that once marked me small. He stepped back slightly like I had grown taller overnight. I didn't speak. I didn't smile. I didn't look away. I walked past him, every step measured. The marble floor echoed beneath my heels. Staff and guests watched, sensing tension, but no one said a word. I reached the HR office for my interview. You must be," the receptionist began. "Yes," I said, my voice cold. "I'm here for the management trainee program." The interview room was sleek, intimidating. Executives looked at me with sharp eyes. "Your resume is impressive," one began. "Thank you," I replied. "What motivated you to return to this hotel?" another asked. I leaned slightly forward. "I want to see things run correctly. I want to learn from mistakes." Pause. "You were a staff member here before?" someone asked, eyebrows raised. "Yes," I said, letting the word land. I noticed subtle reactions. The senior manager avoided my eyes. One accountant fidgeted. I filed those reactions away. "You seem confident," an executive said. "Why should we trust you with management responsibilities?" "Because I've survived being underestimated," I said. "And I know what it feels like to be powerless. I intend to never feel that way again." The room went quiet. When the interviews ended, I walked out, calm, controlled. I passed him again in the hallway. His expression was unreadable this time. Regret softened into, what? Guilt? Recognition? I didn't care. I had a mission. Weeks passed. I was assigned directly under senior management. Meetings, reports, audits, I absorbed it all. Every number, every contract, every staff complaint became data. Patterns. Clues. One morning, I caught a manager avoiding my gaze. "Good morning," I said lightly. The manager nodded but stepped aside. Anxiety lingered around him like a shadow. Later, I overheard the accountant muttering, glancing at files nervously. I smiled inwardly. They didn't know I wasn't here just to work. I was here to uncover the truth, to see who had truly caused the corruption that ruined staff lives. I walked past the lobby again. Cameras, guests, whispers. Everything felt familiar, yet mine now. He appeared beside me unexpectedly. "You look different," he said softly. "Professional," I replied. "Cold." "You're intimidating," he admitted almost reluctantly. "Good," I said. "You should be." We passed each other in silence. He didn't speak. I didn't expect him to. Words weren't necessary anymore. In meetings, I noticed subtle cracks. A manager giving vague reports. An accountant avoiding eye contact. Staff exchanging wary glances. All signs pointing to unresolved corruption. I smiled inwardly. Karma was moving quietly. And this time, I wasn't the one in the crossfire. Each day I grew sharper. Each interaction added pieces to the puzzle. I cataloged whispers, observed behavior, recorded anomalies. He watched me occasionally. I felt it. Regret in his eyes was real, but it didn't touch me. Not anymore. One afternoon in a strategy meeting, I spoke up. "The financial discrepancies in Q2 and Q3 are consistent with internal manipulation. Someone with access to multiple departments is responsible," I said. Heads turned. Executives nodded slowly. The tension in the room thickened. He looked at me. Recognition. And something else, admiration buried under guilt. I met his gaze for a moment. Cold. Professional. Untouchable. The game had changed. I wasn't bait. I wasn't vulnerable. I was calculating. I was ready. And everyone in the room knew it. The next step was coming. I just had to wait. And wait was my new weapon. The accounts don't add up. I whispered it to myself as I flipped through the spreadsheet again. Missing inventory. Fake vendor accounts. Numbers that didn't belong. Patterns that screamed deception. I worked late nights. Office empty. Lights humming. My fingers flying across the keyboard. Every click, every record, every tiny discrepancy filed carefully in my mental map. He appeared one night at the office door. "Can we talk?" he asked softly. I didn't turn. "I want to explain," he continued. "I'm busy," I said without looking up. "I know what you've been through. I want to apologize, truly apologize," he said, stepping closer. I froze. My chest tightened. The words trembled inside me. I wanted to forgive. I wanted to believe him. But I remembered the lobby. The accusations. The silence that crushed me. The humiliation that defined months of my life. I turned slowly to face him. "I don't need apologies," I said firmly. "I need accountability." He blinked. His jaw tightened. The first real crack of pain appeared in his eyes, the same depth, the same sharpness that had once been mine. Silence fell between us, heavy and raw. "I never wanted this to happen," he whispered. "You let it happen," I replied. "You let them use me as bait." "I thought I was protecting the company," he said quietly. "And you almost destroyed me," I shot back. "Your protection looked like betrayal." He flinched. I could see it. Regret piercing through the carefully constructed walls he had built. I studied him. Every hesitation. Every micro-expression. I realized something in that moment. He was human. Capable of error. Capable of real remorse. Capable of hurting. But I also realized I had changed. No longer a victim. No longer trembling at every word. I stood taller. Sharper. In control of my emotions. We worked side by side that week. I watched him closely. Every instruction he gave, every meeting he attended. His tone careful now. His gaze uneasy. Every interaction a study in subtle apology and restrained respect. Meanwhile, I kept building my case quietly. Every night, late into the office, I traced the inconsistencies. Connections between managers, vendors, and phantom invoices. Every shadow revealed a truth. One accountant avoided me, eyes darting whenever I entered the room. One manager lingered too long near my desk, pretending casual conversation but failing. Every subtlety became evidence. He tried again to speak to me privately. "Listen, he began. "Not now," I interrupted. "I'm not here for personal closure. I'm here for the truth." His shoulders slumped. Pain evident. I didn't soften. I couldn't. Not yet. Later that evening, I reviewed the financial logs. My pulse quickened. Patterns emerging. The real culprit was slipping through the cracks. Someone still inside the company, still manipulating from within. I smiled faintly. Karma wasn't done. I would finish what it started. My phone buzzed. A message from him. "Do you forgive me?" I read it, held it, then typed. "Forgiveness doesn't fix negligence. Accountability does." I hit send. He didn't respond. I didn't expect him to. For the first time, I saw his pain mirror mine. Not manipulated. Not half-hearted. Not distant. Real. Raw. And I felt nothing but focus. I had a mission. A plan. And finally, the power to execute it. The cracks in the empire were widening. I was ready to push them open. He set me up. The words burned inside me before I even spoke them aloud. I had traced every missing item, every phantom vendor, every falsified transaction. Patterns emerged. And then I saw it. The signature of betrayal, unmistakable. The senior operations director. He had framed me. I remembered the night I cleaned his office, accidentally touching the papers where he had hidden stolen items. I had been the perfect scapegoat. Invisible. Convenient. I gathered proof. Every invoice. Every email trail. Every second of security footage. I built a case that could not be ignored. The boardroom smelled of polished wood and tension when I walked in. Executives and managers sat stiffly. He was there, smug at first, unaware that his empire was about to crack. "I have evidence regarding internal theft," I said. My voice steady. Controlled. The silence that followed was deafening. He leaned back, mask of confidence in place. "I'm sure this is a misunderstanding," he said. I set the first document on the table. "The discrepancy on vendor accounts, traceable to your office. Here's the time-stamped footage from the night I cleaned your files." Faces turned. Murmurs filled the room. I ignored them. "Those emails were sent by you," I continued, sliding the records across the table. "Requests for funds to shell companies, approved under your credentials." The room went still. He tried to speak. This is impossible." I met his gaze. Calm. Unshaken. "Impossible only until proven true. The evidence doesn't lie. Your mask has fallen." His shoulders slumped. Denial faltered. Eyes darted. The director's carefully maintained authority crumbled in seconds. Executives whispered among themselves. Security personnel took notes, silent. The board members exchanged glances, shock spreading across their faces. I did not smile. I did not gloat. I felt a quiet satisfaction, steady as stone. Justice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It was methodical. Patient. Precise. He opened his mouth again. "You don't get to explain anymore," I said firmly. "You took advantage of trust, of rules, of people. And now it ends." The silence that followed was heavy, almost unbearable. I glanced toward him, the millionaire I once thought would never forgive me. His eyes met mine. Pride. Not arrogance, not relief, but pride. Recognition. that I had navigated this labyrinth and emerged unbroken. For the first time he saw me as capable, powerful, unshakable. He started, voice low. Regret, deep and genuine, bleeding through. I shook my head slightly. No words can undo what you tried to hide. Only accountability can. He flinched, knowing the truth had stripped away every shield he had built. Board members nodded toward security. The director was escorted out, silent now, mask completely gone. I exhaled. A long measured breath. The weight of months of investigation, of pain, of quiet preparation lifted slightly. I had reclaimed control. The empire had cracks, yes, but they were mine to expose. And when I looked across the room I saw him again. Not as a tormentor. Not as a betrayer. But as someone who understood the force I had become. I did not soften. I did not smile. I merely nodded once, silently. And in that nod everything was said. The boardroom remained silent. Tense. Watching. Waiting. Justice had arrived. And I was its calm, unyielding messenger. I should have never let you go. The words hit me like a fist. I froze, my hands tightening around the folder I had just set on my desk. He stood there, unannounced, in the office doorway. The millionaire I had once loved, the one who had watched me be humiliated, now looked smaller somehow. Vulnerable. Human. I doubted myself. He continued, voice low, almost breaking. And because of that, I doubted you. I felt my chest tighten. The old hurt, the betrayal, the silence of the lobby, surged inside me. You fired me, I said, my voice shaking with restraint. You accused me of things I didn't do. You let them use me. And now you say you're sorry? He swallowed. It was my biggest mistake. I tried to protect the company, yes, but I never should have questioned you. I care about you. From the beginning. I couldn't show it right. Not then. I saw it then. A tear slipping down his cheek. One he tried to wipe quickly, but it stayed. A confession in liquid form. A vulnerability I hadn't expected. My heart trembled. The love I once carried for him stirred quietly. The memory of soft smiles, whispered encouragements, small gestures of kindness, things I had clung to, floated through my mind. I wanted to forgive. I wanted to run to him and tell him that I had missed him. But the lobby, the accusations, the silence, I remembered all of it. Regret doesn't erase the damage, I said firmly. Trust once broken leaves scars. I need time. I need to choose myself first. He nodded slowly, pain etched across his face. I understand. I just needed you to know the truth. I never stopped caring. I looked away, focusing on the window. My reflection stared back at me, strong, composed, unbroken. I had survived. I had rebuilt. I had learned to protect my heart even while it still ached. I appreciate your honesty, I said finally. But honesty can't undo the past. It can only shape the future. He stepped closer, cautiously, as if proximity itself might hurt him. Will you ever forgive me? I shook my head gently. Maybe one day. But not now. Not while I'm still healing. A quiet tension hung between us. Words unspoken. Pain acknowledged. Love lingering but restrained. You deserve more than I gave you, he whispered. I see that now. I deserve to choose me first, I said. He nodded again, silent. Watching me. Studying me. The regret in his eyes was real. Haunting. The same way my betrayal had once haunted me. For the first time, I understood his humanity. His mistakes. His feelings. But I also understood mine. I was not ready to return. Not yet. Not until my heart was whole. And so, I turned back to my work, letting him stand there, his presence a reminder of what was lost, what was almost destroyed, and what might one day be healed. The boardroom doors closed softly behind him, leaving me alone with my thoughts, my resolve, and the quiet, steady knowledge that I had finally put myself first. Time would tell what came next. But I was ready for it. I'm promoting you permanently. The words hit me harder than any insult or betrayal ever had. My hands froze on the desk as the board chair's eyes met mine. I blinked, disbelieving. Effective immediately, he added, voice steady, but I could see it, pride, approval, relief, directed at me. I swallowed, a strange mix of shock and satisfaction swirling in my chest. My salary, my title, my authority, it all changed in that moment. But it wasn't money or status that made my heart pound. It was the realization that I was finally equal. Not small. Not invisible. Not powerless. The staff who had once ignored me, whispered behind my back, or avoided eye contact now paused, unsure how to act. Respect settled over the room like a heavy curtain. And he watched me. Not with suspicion, not with doubt, but with quiet acknowledgement. I'll make the transition seamless, I said, voice calm but firm. We start with updated ethics policies. Junior staff protections. Clear accountability. Heads nodded. The board murmured agreement. I felt a subtle thrill. Control, yes, but not arrogance. Balance. I wasn't taking revenge. I was restoring fairness. Later he approached me privately. You've changed everything, he said quietly. His tone carried something I hadn't expected. Admiration. Respect. Maybe even a trace of longing. I did what I had to, I replied, measuring every word. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for me. For them. For what should have been in place from the start. He nodded, swallowing the words he didn't say. I could see the regret lingering at the corners of his eyes. But now I felt no need to rush forgiveness. I stood tall. Confident. Present. As the days passed, I implemented new procedures. I trained staff. I handled conflicts that would have terrified me before. Every decision reminded me, I had been invisible once. Not anymore. One evening, walking through the lobby, I passed the same spaces where I had been humiliated. Staff bowed slightly, clients smiled, and he stopped me. You're remarkable, he said softly. I looked straight at him. My reflection in the glass behind him showed a woman who had survived betrayal, rebuilt herself, and claimed her place. Remarkable? I asked, lips tight. I'm just finally myself. And that was the power shift. Not loud. Not vengeful. Steady. Balanced. And for the first time, I felt equal to the man I once loved. The empire didn't feel like his or mine. It felt like ours, yet I had earned my place. He nodded again, quietly accepting it while I walked past, confident, unshakable. For the first time, I wasn't fighting for recognition. I had it, and I would never let it slip away. I was wrong. The words cut through the murmur of the crowded ballroom like a blade. Every head turned. Every eye found me. My pulse thudded in my ears. He spoke my name. Not as a title. Not as a boss. As the man who had betrayed me. I should have trusted you, he continued, voice low, trembling slightly. I doubted you when I should have protected you. I raised a hand. The room quieted further. I didn't interrupt, but I held their attention with my silence. I felt the old ache of humiliation rising, but I didn't let it. Not now. When he finished, I stepped forward. The click of my heels echoed, deliberate. I met his eyes but didn't falter. I stand here not for forgiveness, I said clearly, voice calm but strong. I stand here for integrity. For dignity. For the reminder that doubt is easy when power is comfortable, and trust is precious when it's earned. The crowd shifted. You could hear a pin drop. His eyes softened, but I didn't soften. Not yet. You made a mistake, I continued. Not just with me but with every person who trusted you. And it's time that truth was seen, not whispered in offices, not hidden behind titles. He swallowed hard, visibly struggling to hold himself together. His shoulders slumped in a way that made him human. Vulnerable. I remembered all the silent nights I had spent alone, replaying every betrayal, every glance, every word that had cut deeper than any insult. But this isn't a vendetta, I said, letting the words sink in. It's a reckoning. A chance to remember that power without conscience is empty. That loyalty deserves respect. That justice isn't loud, it's steady. He looked down, nodded slowly. I didn't smile. I didn't soften. The moment wasn't about him. It was about me. My voice, my presence, my choice to no longer be invisible. The board members exchanged glances. Staff whispered. The atmosphere shifted. Silence hung, thick and deliberate, like a statement carved into the room. I will not forget, I added quietly, letting the weight of the words linger. But I will move forward. And so should you. He nodded again, eyes glistening. His regret was real. His apology public. But my closure wasn't in his words. It was in my courage. In my refusal to shrink. I stepped back. The ballroom seemed larger, freer. I inhaled deeply. Every insult, every doubt, every humiliation finally transformed into something solid, strength. That night, I didn't just leave the stage. I left the shadow of my past behind. And the world, for once, had no power over me. Can we start over? The words hit me like a shard of glass. Sure. Familiar. Impossible to ignore. I froze, caught between the echo of the past and the weight of the present. I looked at him. Really looked. Not the man who had watched me humiliated in the lobby. Not the one who hid behind doubt and titles. The man before me now was real. Human. Vulnerable. Regret carved into his face, tears barely restrained. I can forgive you, I said slowly, letting each word land. But I will never forget. His jaw tightened. His hands twitched, but he said nothing. The silence between us was electric, charged with years of betrayal, unspoken confessions, and fractured trust. I was a fool, he whispered finally, voice low, trembling. I lost sight of what mattered. Of you. I shook my head. Love isn't something to lose sight of anymore. I'm not chasing it blindly. He stepped closer, cautiously. His eyes searched mine for the hint of the girl he had known. The girl who had cried silently, who had waited, who had been powerless. She was gone. I'm not the same, I said, my voice steady. I can choose love, yes. But it must be honest, slow, equal. I won't let myself be small again. If we begin again, it will be on my terms. You meet me where I stand now, strong, independent, unbreakable. Only then will it matter. He nodded, almost imperceptibly, as if he understood the weight of every word. His regret was real, but I realized something deeper. My strength was now real too. I wasn't reacting to him. I wasn't waiting for his approval. I was deciding for myself. I needed to survive myself first, I added, almost to no one, almost to me. To stand without fear, without shame, without waiting for someone else to fix the past. His hand hovered in the space between us, hesitant. I didn't move toward it. I didn't pull away. I let it hang there, symbolic, suspended. A choice unmade. I see you, he said quietly. Every part of you I doubted. I see you now. And you must decide, I replied. If you want me, you meet me here. If not, that's your choice. But this is where I stand. He swallowed. I held my gaze, unwavering. The power in that moment wasn't about him. It was mine. I had survived humiliation, betrayal, and doubt. I had built myself anew from the ashes of every wrong. The air between us was heavy, charged, waiting. Waiting for a decision that was no longer mine alone. I stepped back slightly. Not in retreat, but in command of my own space, my own life. And for the first time, I understood. Forgiveness could coexist with strength. Love could coexist with boundaries. And I was finally, completely free. I didn't look back. Not yet. I was invisible once. The words echoed in my mind as I walked through the lobby. Not now. Not ever again. The staff, the guests, the new maids beginning their first day, they all saw me. I made sure of it. Every nod, every greeting, every small gesture of acknowledgement reminded me that I existed. That I mattered. A young maid fumbled with her cart near the elevators. I approached, lightly touching her arm. It's okay, I said. You're doing fine. Her eyes widened. Relief. Recognition. I smiled, quietly proud. I knew that look. I had worn it before. I had craved it. Now I gave it. I moved past the reception desk, past the polished floors that had once reflected my humiliation. Every reflection now felt like a mirror of growth. Betrayal had tried to break me. Shame had tried to define me. But none of it stuck. I had survived. I had rebuilt. I had become. He watched me from across the lobby, a shadow of the man who once held power over me. His expression was unreadable. Regret lingered in his eyes, but it no longer scared me. I had earned my place here, not as a shadow, not as someone to forgive, but as someone who commanded respect. My voice, once timid, now carried weight in meetings. My decisions shaped the company. My name meant integrity. Everything changed, he said almost to himself. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. He could see it. He could feel it. The balance of power had shifted long ago, quietly. And now it was undeniable. I stopped near the grand staircase and looked around. The hotel bustled with life, ambition, energy, but I noticed the small moments. The nervous intern, the overworked bellboy, the hesitant receptionist. I made mental notes. I would protect them. I would guide them. I would make sure no one else felt invisible the way I once had. A colleague approached, hesitant. You've changed everything, she said softly. How did you do it? I smiled faintly, letting the truth settle in the air. By refusing to be small. By refusing to be silent. By choosing myself, every single time. She nodded, eyes wide, understanding more than words could convey. I felt a surge of quiet pride. I had transformed. The mistakes of the past, the pain, the betrayal, they were all tools now, not chains. Karma had moved, yes, but so had I. I passed the lobby once more, watching life continue, watching people move, fall, rise, and stumble. I no longer feared shadows. I no longer waited for validation. I owned my space. And finally, the truth settled in my chest like fire. I had never been invisible. I was always becoming. A new maid smiled at me, uncertain and hopeful. I returned it, fully present. I see you, I said softly. And in saying it, I reminded myself, I am here. I am visible. I am becoming.